All right, you guys, it's Ross the Fig Boss. So we have a pretty nice harvest of figs here that we're gonna look at today. We're gonna probably try them all or try most of them and talk about, which one was the standout from this particular batch of figs. Every day we get a different batch, different varieties, different ripeness levels, different levels of quality, depending on the weather. And, we'll talk about, as it's been quite dry recently, which one was the best. Maybe we'll learn something along the way. I'm not even totally sure what we're going to talk about. So as we open them, we'll see what the deal is, and we'll obviously make some judgments from there. A lot of you guys know that recently we've been selling a lot of trees, and that's kind of what I've been doing all day. Is I have this nice treat at the end of the day because I've been working outside all day today. I've been really getting ready for propagation season, essentially, is selling a lot of trees to you guys. Whether that's these 1 gallon size trees that we have been kind of growing all year, whether that was from cutting or from air layer or whatever. We recently listed about 15 of these of this size, and they sold within like 24 hours, so super quick. I have about like 7 or 8 more to list, and in fact, we actually, by the time this video airs, you guys will at least have the opportunity to bid for auction on a Black Celeste. I have 1 Black Celeste tree that I'm going to sell this year. And then I may have some cuttings this winter, but a very limited quantity, I should say. And then you guys, we're going to have at least that opportunity for those of you who desperately want it now and are not willing to wait maybe a year from now when I'll have plenty of cuttings or trees to offer. So the point is, though, is that, those trees are available and were available for buy it now prices. So the Black Celeste was the only one I listed for auction, and people just gobble them up real quick. If you want to know about this kind of thing, of when this happens, the YouTube channel has been rather slow regarding, active news or different announcements that are related to me and the channel. So, I still have videos that I haven't published from like 2 months ago, that I created 2 months ago. So if you want to know when this stuff's happening, when the trees are available, when the bare-rooted trees are available, when the cuttings are available, go on our blog, figboss.com. You can sign up down there at the bottom for our newsletter, which is just going to notify you through email when we create a new blog post. And then it'll give you the title in the email of what we're talking about. So as an example, the title was Fig Trees for Sale. So you guys know, just based on that email, and a lot of people did, the trees were available and people quickly gobbled them up. So if that's something you want to be a part of, just check out our blog. In that blog post, again, really quickly before we talk about these fruits, we mentioned when the bare-rooted trees will be available for sale. We had great success with that over the years. 2 years I've been doing that now, where I take off all the soil off of the trees, put wet newspaper around the roots, and then wrap them in a paper bag and send them to you guys at a pretty affordable rate. If I were to send a big potted tree like this and just ship the entire thing, this would cost a fortune. So I'm saving you guys all this money. It's, a lot of time where I have to shake off all the soil. It's a lot of effort. You have no idea. And then packaging them all up takes some time too. So it's all worth it at the end of the day. And I know that you guys are going to basically be able to reap the rewards of what I've done by growing these trees out for a number of years, or even just for 1 year. Having that base, that start to your fig tree, it pays off dividends just if you want to be that person to really have the rewards and the benefits quicker rather than later. And then of course after the bare-rooted trees, we're doing the cuttings. So the bare-rooted trees will start like around November 1st, maybe the end of October. We're only really a month away at this point from our first frost. And once that happens, we can really start focusing on, getting those trees out to you guys. And then about shortly after that, around maybe November 15th, maybe late November, early December, it's all up in the air, weather dependent of how many frosts we get, when the frosts actually come in, and then when the trees actually go dormant, we kind of start the cutting season. So if you're interested in the cuttings, that you're gonna have to wait a little bit after we stop selling these trees. Once most of these bare-rooted trees are done for sale, that's when the cuttings will come up. And then most of them will happen probably in December and in January, ending probably in around mid-January. So anyway, so here are the fruits. Let's talk about some of these varieties here, guys. First up, I already cut this in half, is Camponeeri. Got a mosquito trying to get at me. They're always trying to get at me. Especially this year, they've been really nasty. But yeah, here it is. This is actually from an in-ground tree. Not that well ripened, I might add. I picked this, I guess, a bit early. The outside is a bit misleading, and the neck is definitely soft. The outside's got some cracking, and there's even some sugar spots there. And there's even honey at the eye. So a bit tricky or misleading there on this one. You know, you're not going to pick every single fig perfectly, and I don't necessarily want to wait. Typically everyone doesn't want to wait. And, you know, the birds have been kind of insane on that side of the yard. So I've been trying to pick those a little bit earlier than later. Let's try it. It's pretty good. You know, we've been getting a lot of fruit flies and fermentation as well, so I've been really careful about not letting them ripen too long, because the fruit flies are kind of laying their larvae inside them and ruining them really quickly. So you got to pick them a little earlier too. That's the other reason that I've been doing this. Here's actually a green Macharinska. Let's just see what we get. Oh, this looks real good. Big fan of this fruit. This year it's been extremely impressive. I got 2 of them. Actually, today I had 3 of them. So not bad. Really dark red pulp. It's a striking fruit, guys, and it tastes wonderful. Let's try it. Yeah, that's real good. You know, it's different. It's more intensely berry, but not as sweet as the Camponeeri, oddly enough. Because it's got a nice balance of acidity and that berry flavor, whereas that Camponeeri is a lot of, man, it's a lot of sweetness, a lot of figgy flavor, almost honey-like at that stage, until it kind of develops later. Here's Pistaludo. I don't know how to pronounce this fig. This is one of my favorites now. This year has been super, super impressive. Let me get out of the light. Turn the other camera around here. It's probably better. Yeah, that looks nicer. It is a super, super good fig. It's as good as Smith. I actually have a Smith right here too, so we can try them side by side, but I believe this Smith is, yeah, this is fermented. Bit of a shame. You could smell this and it really does smell like something fermented or kind of approaching alcohol, but typically, oddly enough, you know, it depends on the how ripe the fruit is, because that one's super ripe. But typically the Smiths have been avoiding most of the fermentation, and it's awesome to know, because it's so true. Like with this entire tasting here, what really is going to make me wow is, you know, which one probably is the most ripe at this current moment. You know, it's not necessarily which one tastes the best. Like, you know, maybe you can make an argument that Smith tastes the best out of all of them, at least today. But guess what? Smith is fermented, so it doesn't taste the best. It's a 0. But today, it you know, maybe a different fig is going to impress me, and that's kind of what the point is, right? Is that, you know, which of these figs is going to be the most ripe to give me the best experience possible, consistently, right? That's basically what is the best fig in a sense. And Smith has done that time and time again over many years, and especially this season I've noticed it. that it's just basically almost nothing ever happens to it. This might be the, maybe the fourth fig out of over 100 figs that I harvested from multiple trees that had a problem. So, that's pretty impressive, those numbers. And it's a shame that that's the case today, because it's not really proving my point, but it's the truth. So here's Pistaludo. Oh yeah. So this one, to me, it's tough because green Macharinska's, it's not as good, but it's so close. And I would just put Pistaludo a little higher than it. Let me just try this. Yeah. It's so close, but Pistaludo is an incredible fig. Absolutely incredible. Here is a Violet de Bordeaux. This is Nero 600M. I have not had a chance to enjoy many of these this year. This looks freaking great. Excuse the language. This looks really good. Looks like pure jam in there. Wow. So this is Nero 600M. This is really the only Violet. Actually, no, that's not true. I have an Negretta unknown over there, but this is kind of the Violet de Bordeaux type I just went with. A little fermented, so not as good as it should be. The fruit flies unfortunately got to it, but still impressive. Really well ripened. I like the texture of it. There's a kind of a hint of that fermentation. Here's yellow long neck. Actually, this is golden rainbow, but truthfully, it's basically is yellow long neck. This is Robert's golden rainbow. Weird down there at the bottom, I must say. I saw a photo of Ben's Golden Riverside recently from a grower that had it next to the yellow long neck, and it was totally different. And I would agree, it's totally different. So whatever this Robert's Golden Rainbow is, it doesn't appear to be the same fig as the Golden Rainbow or the Golden Riverside from Ben B in Seattle. Quite interesting. I don't know why that is. It's a really big honey fig that needs a little bit more time, if I'm being honest. What? There's a lot to enjoy there. Refreshing melon flavor, very sweet, honey-like. This one I think is going to be the best of today. And I'm sure no one even knows what this is, but it's the most ripe. It is the first fig off of this tree that I've tasted, so that could be a factor in actually it not being that good. But it's kind of shriveled up on the tree. I didn't even know it was there. The birds didn't know. The fruit flies didn't know. Pretty good shape. Closed eye. Well, not really, but pretty decent. I like the way it hangs. Smaller fruit, but then again, they might just be bigger in future seasons, and that might actually be a negative. But this is a prosciutto. So this is an Adriatic fig. Green skin, red interior. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah boy, this is good. This is probably going to be one of the better figs I eat all season. That looks real good. So here's my point, right? I've been telling you guys this. Which fig tastes the best? It's the one that's the most ripe. Right? On any given day, they all have a different level of ripeness. Typically, the one that's the most ripe is going to taste the best. And whichever one gets that consistently the most ripe. Oh man. Yeah. Really good. I'm glad I have this tree because I hope it can continue to do that. This is an impressive quality fruit. And I have another Adriatic just to show you. Man, that's so good. Here's an Adriatic from an unknown source. My client gave me this one. It's probably just green Ischia. You can see the inside's dark red like that, but guess what? It's fermented. And pretty much all the fruits on the tree got ruined by rain, and then because they got ruined by rain, they started to ferment. And yeah, I enjoyed a decent amount of the fruits early on in its ripening process, but its harvest window. But now it's really been not that impressive, and actually, it's such a huge difference noticing that this fruit, this green Ischia, from the prosciutto. And even though I would consider them both Adriatic types, that's the beauty of it. They are different in some ways, right? And I'm sure the rain, if it rained like that at the time the prosciutto was ripening, I mean, it's been really dry, so that's a nice benefit for the prosciutto that I just ate. And that's why it's so good, to be honest with you. But even if you had it ripening at the same time that this green Ischia was getting rained on, it wouldn't be like that. I know that for sure. I mean, you won't know for sure, but it's a really strong hunch of mine. So for my money, based on the shape, based on the observations of, you know, that green Ischia versus the prosciutto, I could definitely agree that prosciutto is a superior Adriatic type. Now, is it better than the other ones? You know, there's so many of them. Harry's Creep, White Madeira #1, Strawberry Verte, Battaglia Green. You know, who knows? Even this Verdino del Nord, by the way, from Tatiana, is an Adriatic type. There's also Verdino Giacomo I'm growing as well. I can't wait for that one. So we don't know. But for all intents and purposes, that really impressed me today. First fruit ever. Yeah, that's great. We'll see you guys soon, all right? Hit that subscribe button. And again, check out the blog. You want to be notified when these trees go up for sale. That's when you're going to hear it first, or where you're going to hear it first. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.